Hi folks, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another bike review. This one is the Engwe X24. So come on, hands up, let me know in the comments down below who thought it was a motorbike. Come on, you did, didn't you? Come on. Well, clearly it isn't. Let's go back to the review. Bit of a unique kind of little beast, this one, in the fact that it's actually got two batteries in it. So you've got a 10 amp hour battery there and a 19 amp hour, 19.2 amp hour there. So it looks like a folding bike, but actually in the center of the frame there is the battery compartment. So yeah, you can fold it to ease more space, storage, whatever. But obviously there's a nice 10 amp hour battery in the middle there with a little key slot to lock it in place, which means you don't have the dangly key problem that I've got on the bike I've got. This seat post is the second battery. So you've got an adjuster there, which actually locks in place using that little pin lock there, which is quite good. So you can adjust the height to your ride height, but like I said, there's a battery in there, so that little cable connects the power of the battery into the main component. That's the charge socket up for the top there, so you can charge this battery separately, and then right at the top of the battery, once it's connected, is a brake light. So yeah, almost 30 amp hours of power delivered to a 1000 watt motor, rear hub motor, with a peak of about 1200 watts. You get this lovely comfy seat on the back, or you can take that off and use it as a cargo, sort of pannier rack or cargo rack. So like I said, the bike does fold in half. The pedals don't fold down, the handlebars don't fold away, and as you can see, the only way to remove the seat is to remove the entire battery that is the seat post. So really the frame splits in half to allow you to get the battery out. Nice comfy handlebar configuration with nice comfy grips. So yeah, comfy grips with a bit of a palm rest on them. So yeah, brakes are hydraulic brakes, like I've said. You've got this lovely little neat control panel which switches the display on, switches the bike on as well. And then obviously you've got a lovely little horn on there, really cool. A thumb control if you don't want to pedal, and then going through the options, that's to turn the light on and off, so it's a front and rear light all controlled. And then yeah, you've got basically up and down on the power. So you can turn the assistance mode up and down between 1 and 5, and then the information will give you power in watts as you're using it, trip time, maximum speed, and your average speed, as well as total distance the bike's traveled as well. And obviously then you've got power it off again. You can press and hold the two buttons at the same time to get into the settings menu, where here you can set personalization options, which cover all sorts of different things like auto headlamp on and off and power set. I won't go over that now, but yeah, you can basically personalize whatever you want there, and also set the maximum speed for the bike in there as well. Different ones than I've actually had in the past. So yeah, you've got two levers sort of down with a little display there for which gear you're in. It's an 8-gear cassette, so an 8-gear derailleur system. And what it means is as you're really motoring on, you've really got the longer gears now. Yeah, you've got front and rear light, as well as a brake light. So if you switch this battery on, there's a brake light in this post as well as the one at the back there, so that's pretty cool. You've got a little horn here as well. I love the little rake on the handlebars, sort of comes up, a little bit of a riser there, and obviously slightly coming back to you, so it's quite a comfortable ride. The riding position's really good, the seat's really comfortable, the suspension on it absolutely fantastic, and yeah, the whole sort of riding position is more of a motorbike feel, so it's more sort of like slightly reach forward, less sort of sit up and beg style of some of the bikes I've tried recently. And yes, I am also wearing a bit of high vis because we are getting into winter now. The sun's low on the horizon and everything else, so yeah, flashy lights on my helmet and high vis on my coat as well, just to stand out for a bit. You know, safety first, people. Who cares what you look like? Safety first. Front suspension, you've got your preload on this side, and obviously compression on this side, so how much it bounces back and how quickly. And then on the rear suspension, you've obviously got a damper on the back there, shock, and then on the back here You've got springs which are adjustable. You can crank those down and adjust the spring, and also on the back here you can pump them up because they're air shocks as well. So yeah, triple suspension. In fact, you might say it's 5 lots of suspension. 2, there, 5 lots of suspension. Not bad, eh? But yeah, I've put the back air shocks to 200 psi with a little shock pump, air shock pump. So that was nice, comfy ride actually. It's very firm, very positive ride. So it does mean with the coil adjustments and the air adjustment in the back, you should be able to get the comfort and ride height that suits you most. 24 by 4 inch tyres give you an extra bit of grip and comfort as well whilst riding, and they do recommend 20 psi max when you're inflating the tyres too. And there's plenty of power in it as well. For 1,000 watt, well 1200 watt peak, for 1,000 watt, it doesn't half get going. It's not like a jolt get going, but yeah, it really gets you going there. Obviously get the assistance, and then once you get in the gears as well, you can yeah, you can properly get motoring. It's got the same assistance levels, the Engine X, in that up to sort of like, you know, level 1 is like 2 miles an hour, level 2 is 5 miles an hour, level 3 is about 10 miles an hour, and it isn't until you're on level 5 that you get the full effect, just full power. And quite a cool feature in this as well is actually in the software settings you can set those parameters, so you can actually set the percentage of speed in each one of those 5 levels of assistance as well. Pretty cool. There's 1 charger and 2 batteries. So right now, as you can see, I am charging this battery, and then when that battery is charged, I'll charge the seat post battery. Would have been nice to get 2 chargers with it, or a more powerful single charger with 2 tails on it. Obviously you can remove these batteries so you don't have to charge them on the bike. It's an aluminium frame, but obviously with the weight of 2 batteries in there, this weighs about 49 kilos. So although it's a heavy bike, it doesn't feel it. It's very nimble, you know, easy to maneuver, easy to set off and keep going in that. And like I say, with all the suspension on there and the nice comfy seat, it's really, really, really nice to ride as well. You get a nice kickstand there as well. There's a little switch under here, which is to power on this battery, and this battery is the primary battery in a sense. So if you switch this one on, power from this will flow into this battery. So this one is almost your backup battery. This one is your primary battery. There's no switch to switch this on and off. Basically, when you switch on the computer that powers everything, it takes its power from here, and then if this is quite low and you switch this battery on, then essentially it's just going to charge it, provide more power. So yeah, it's pretty cool in the way it does that, but that's why I'm charging this one first. I've just been out bombing around and depleted this battery, so this battery was trying to recharge it, so I'm essentially recharging it via my little charger. You can't see now, but I've got solar panels out and a little charger down there and everything, so a little power station, my solar panels, powering my e-bike, free power. Can't beat it, can you? Personally, the only downside for me when I went out and tested it is no mud guards. So it reminds me a little bit of a motorbike, well, 2 motorbikes actually. Probably about 10 years ago now. I actually bought 2 really old Honda CB250 Super Dreams, and then basically chopped them down to make it a bobber. So the back of the seat just looked like that. It was chopped down, but you had these 2 rear springs on like that. About the same width as this one, or the same length, probably the same tyres as well, chunky tyres. And yeah, I really like that, and I think this reminds me a little bit of that. It's very kind of, hey, they're very close now, aren't they, to looking like a motorbike. So, don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. If you like the motorbike look, great. if you'd rather not have your e-bike look like a motorbike, then yeah, maybe this one isn't for you. But I rather like it. The only downside for me is it won't fit in my van. So hey ho, there we go. Assembly, usual thing, you know, they all come roughly assembled. I think it's 70% assembled. So front wheel goes on, handlebar goes on, seat goes on, this back seat goes on, the rear light, the front light, and the pedals, and then after that it's just a case of pumping the tires up, putting air in these rear shocks, setting the angles of the bars and things like that. Again, something that seems to be quite common with these Chinese bikes, and just me not being used to it, is that they put the rear brake on the right and the front brake on the left. So I've just swapped them over, which is really easy to do. You know, the only downside is because they are hydraulic, if you do want to top them up, you've just got to loosen these off, spin it round, and then you can top the fluid up in there. So as usual, product links are in the video description down below. So if you do want to find out anything more about this, anything more details, you can either ask me in the comment section down below, or just underneath the video, if you read the video description, there'll be a link in there to this bike where you can read more about the manufacturer's description, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I shall see you soon, folks. Bye.